30 now.
Hey, we back up in this bitch, man. It's badass, man. Yeah. They let a nigga do the intro, and they let the wrong nigga do the intro, because shit, I'm eating her, but I like the spit, but when the nigga start talking, the nigga just talk too much. So in this intro, I get to talk and just keep telling you motherfuckers that it's time to be heard, because you be listening to some straight bullshit. And no disrespect, because it take time to make the music. It take time to make the money. I guess that's why nobody making money, because niggas ain't taking time to make no music. Of course, the booty eating her.
In the door, waving the 4-4. Nigga, all I heard was eating, don't spit it no more. I'm a god amongst boys, yeah. Clash of the Titans, the party been started, but I wasn't invited. Now I'm declaring war, cause my mind's been enlightened. They keep on telling me that bad boys moving silent, so why can't I hear them? Yes, I got a sixth sense, cause I keep hearing dead niggas talking in this bitch. 16 bars, now it's 16 years. I'm rapping to these people, but they don't wanna hear. Swear they want the power, but they don't wanna steer. But stay up out the kitchen, cause it's hot up in here. Cause I spit first and ask questions later. I'ma address the haters, cause their numbers are greater. Matter of fact, them is the one that keep me on your radar. Lying dark side, you can call me Darth Vader.
I mean, which one of you niggas out there fucking with BAE? Never. You, come on now. Come on now. You know, that's what BAE, man. Badass entertainment. I know the niggas ain't starting no party now. Let us in, niggas. Let's go. Kick in the door, right in the fofo. All I heard was stories, don't spit it no more. Fucking this track like a pimp on a hoe. I'ma give it to a roll. Better not let me go. Mile high representing Colorado snow. BAE hot, the flow so cold. This is our years, know the fuck with our peers. Badass years, down here, tight steers. Crazy motherfucker, get it in like a psycho. Known to get paid like I'm fucking with a white hoe. Punch to the face, so we action on your flow. Let somebody say something badass at the back door. BAE here, now the party started. And the boys I run with, know to get retarded.
What's happening, everybody? What's happening, everybody? It's your boy. I'm back. Black Conscious Convo. Chris Diggins, I'm your host. My guest today, Miss Talisa Hawkins.
Yes.
Go ahead, young lady. Break it down for him. Like, honestly, like I can blow you up. Honestly, like your personality, and I was gonna say this earlier, your personality is one of like a black grandmother. For real. Like the you knew grandma loved you.
Mm-hmm.
Grandma never told you like, oh yeah, you can't ever come back around here. I don't ever want to see you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Grandma loved you.
Yeah.
And loved you to the point where when you did bad things, she forgave.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the type of personality that you give. Like,
you know, it's funny you say that, because my childhood, I spent so much time with my grandmother. I was very close with her. To this day, she's passed away, but I'm still very, very close to my grandma. I miss her dearly. I love her. And so, you know, to hear that I give off black grandma vibes makes a lot of sense to me, because I spent a lot of time with my very black grandma. She taught me how to garden. She taught me how to fish, you know, so I spent a lot of time with her outside fishing and things like that. And so, that doesn't surprise me to hear at all. I have a very old soul, and it's because I spent a lot of time with my grandma.
yeah, and that was one of the reasons that I wanted to talk to you. Look, we're not even gonna talk about y'all just seen me kick my coffee, y'all. So in general, now I gotta get my carpet clean.
Yeah, me and you both, man.
Look, that is hilarious. So once again, you are a mortgage broker, a mother, a spiritual advisor, an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
What else is Talisa?
Really, those are the main things. You got it. I am a mortgage broker, mortgage loan originator. I've been in the mortgage industry 7 years. I've been working in finances for almost 11 years now.
So you can help people get their money right.
Yeah, as much as I can, as much as people are willing to listen. That's the real key right there.
Woo! And I mean, I don't know if too many people know this, but we as a people,
Mm.
we hear, but we don't listen a lot.
Yeah.
We hear certain things, but listening and processing that information and then responding specifically to that information, we have an issue with doing that.
Yeah. And I would say I did this course when I was 21. It was like a therapy session for a weekend. And one of the things they did was have you like pair off with people and have that person say something and then have you repeat it. And what I got is like you may hear what someone says, but the way you hear it is different. Because you'll interpret it, you'll make it mean something else, and as I've been engaging with my family after this, I see it everywhere. I see how I could be like, nah, I can't really do that today. I got something to do. And they'll hear, oh, no, I ain't doing that shit for you. Da, 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 da. Like, no, I didn't say it with an attitude. I just said I can't do it today. And what you heard was attitude and da 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 da. Like you added that there. That wasn't there with me. And so that's a skill that has to be taught. And unfortunately, most black people ain't taught it.
I do a podcast on Tuesdays, or should I say on Wednesdays and Sundays.
Mm.
It's about loving in color in Colorado.
Mm.
And one of the things that I ask black people, I've had this discussion with you, is do we as black people, or do black men teach their black daughters how to love black men, and do black women teach their black men how to love black women as a parent?
I would say historically no. Generationally no. Just because we've been too busy trying to make sure that we know that we're all valuable, like making sure that your black kid knows like you are important, you are loved, you are somebody. You can be what you want. Like, don't believe what society tells you. Like, we're focused so much on making sure that they have a self-esteem and self-worth that we don't teach them how to engage with other people, because we never get to that. Like, we spend their whole childhood like just trying to shield them from what the world thinks of them and keep them from falling into the different traps that are set by this society, that we don't even have the time to get to this is how you date, this is how you build a relationship, this is how you do that.
I see that because as a single dad myself, one of the things that I didn't want to do is kill my son. Like, I knew that this life was precious.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, if I fucked up as a parent,
yeah,
the police,
yeah,
and social services and everything beyond that would come after me and make it to where, oh yeah, you're a sorry fucking parent.
Yeah.
We're gonna throw you in jail. We're gonna take your kid away. You're gonna still pay child support. Yeah. And that's what I was not gonna have. Like, that just wasn't gonna work for me.
Yeah.
I see you have some hemp sticks.
I do.
Is it possible to get one, young lady?
Yes, I have some Royal Blunts hemp rillos. They're my favorite.
Hemp rillos.
Yeah,
Look at you.
They're my favorites. I've definitely tried
Royal
a couple
blunts.
of other.
I want y'all to see this now.
I've tried some other hemp wraps. I've
Royal
definitely
blunts.
tried. I've tried high hemp. I've tried rolling the raw hemp wraps. I've tried a couple of hemp wraps and I didn't like them. They either dried out too quickly or they didn't, they weren't sticky, so they didn't hold. But whatever, Blunt Royal's doing, their hemp rillos are spot on. So I buy them and they come in a 4-pack, which is nice.
Look, I don't know if you know this, but I am a Dutch blunt roller. What are you smoking today, by the way?
Oh, today I'm actually smoking Starlight Skies is what it's called. It's a sativa, testing at 28%. It's from the Cosmos brand. I get that one from Green
Green
Solutions.
Solution. I was just about to say that.
Yep, I only get it. It's my like go to when I don't have enough money and I want to get something that's good and gonna last at a good price. And Cosmos is pretty fairly priced, and it's good. So and it's definitely hit or miss. I would stay away from their ground flour if possible.
Me
Just go
myself.
with the flour. Their flour is a lot better. And I go to Green Solutions not because I like them or they're the best. I shop for convenience because I don't have time to shop around and look around and price match. So I just go with convenience, and there are so many.
Well, that's why you need to pay attention to my show, because I
See?
tell people all the time stores that have great marijuana and great deals.
Yeah.
You can get Kind Love in several different dispensaries now.
Okay.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I just knew about their one store.
You can also get 14er,
Okay.
Boulder strain. You can get Bloom, Cherry. These are all growers.
Okay.
With some fire. Virtus, who grows cookies.
Okay, yeah.
And then this new one that I am honestly enjoying the shit out of. They grow a strain called White Runts.
Okay.
It's called Snacksland. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I don't think so.
Okay. I don't know if you're an indica or a sativa. Wait.
No, I'm definitely a sativa person.
Yeah, I remember that conversation.
I'm a sativa gal.
Okay. So, they have all those strains. Like, they do a good job of growing.
Is that easy to roll?
For me, blunt rolling is easy.
Yeah.
Joint rolling is not easy for me.
Same. But the paper, like it ain't. You know how sometimes rolling a blunt, you get a little blunt lip stuck to your lip. A little. It tear a little bit when it get too wet. And it was pretty. It's pretty smooth. It don't get too sticky.
It's honestly, it's pretty solid too. Like yeah, it's not a cheap. It's not a cheap roll or.
No, I really enjoy them. So they're my new go-to whenever I'm trying to smoke.
Talking about mortgages.
Yes. Mortgages.
You're going to help me buy a home.
Yes, I am. I'm going to help a lot of people buy a home.
That is correct. I would love to help you help a lot of people buy a home.
Yeah.
For me, you gave me a good list of information that I needed to do. One, you said to have somewhere in between $1,000 and $5,000.
Yeah.
In savings.
Mm-hmm.
2, you told me make sure my credit score is above at 650 or higher.
Yeah. And honestly, that was for the company that I was with. So they have their own internal credit requirement, which is 640 or higher. But there are loan programs available for people with credit score as low as 600 and some for even 580. And now these are new programs that I'm going to be able to offer to people with this new company that I'm with. So yeah, but like I think I told you before, it's one or the other. Like if you don't have excellent credit score, you need to at least have some money to put down on the home. And if you don't have much money to put down, you better have good credit. Like it's one of the two.
Right.
And so that's the catch-22.
And they go hand in hand.
Yeah, they do. They do.
A lot of people try to get around those things.
Yes. A lot of people, mainly the down deposit, because I understand, especially in Colorado, like a down deposit right now it's ridiculous with the average home price being around $400, $450. And people are getting offers for double that when it comes time to sell. So, you need to put down 5%. That's like $27,000 on a $550 home or something like that. So I can understand I don't have 27,000, ready to put down on a home. But unfortunately, that's it. You're either going to have the money down, or you're going to have to get your credit up, and both are going to require you to put some type of money into it. It's just a matter of how much money you're willing.
So when it comes to, in general, people buying homes individually.
Mm-hmm.
How many people buy homes individually, or should I, not even that? How many people? Statistically, are more people joint buying homes than buying homes single?
So honestly, at this moment, I couldn't say who's buying more of what. I can tell you in the next coming years, the next 5 years, they said that 75% of first time home buyers will either be a single person or single woman, single man, or a person of color, and maybe both. So within the next 5 years, almost everybody's going to be pretty much trying to purchase a home by themselves. That's what the trends are showing. More people are buying homes individually, and that's just because millennials, we're getting older. Most of us are in our 30s now and have been in our careers long enough that now we've got some type of 401k that we can use to purchase a home. So, and now that hopefully they pass this first time home buyers act that Joe Biden has presented to Congress. It's going to give up to $27,000 to first-time home buyers, and I think maybe 30 for first time in your generation. Like if you're the first person of your family to do it, I think it's around 37,000 that they're looking to give to people as an incentive to purchase homes. So if that gets passed, that's definitely going to cause a huge boost in people buying homes on their own.
Are you a fan of Joe?
No,
Go ahead,
really.
spark up.
No,
we haven't
not
even started
really.
smoking yet.
Yeah.
We're having all of this conversation.
Did I vote for Joe? I don't even remember. I think I might have voted.
I'm going to say this. I am not a fan of Democrats or Republicans.
Same.
For the simple fact of both sides. Well, I'm going to say this. Republicans are the devil I know. For real. And Democrats are the devil I don't know. Kamala Harris still put a whole lot of niggas in prison. And until a whole lot of niggas get out of prison for the shit that she locked niggas up specifically for, and I'm saying across the country.
Yeah.
Not just the percentage in California.
Right.
I'm saying the percentage of niggas across America.
Right.
I really do not particularly care for what Camilla has to offer. What you offered me is a woman of color who settled for a white man.
Yeah. I can't. I feel the same way.
You know what I mean? You didn't get an a West Indian man. You didn't get a black man. You didn't even get a Chinese man or a, you know what I mean? You didn't even get a Thai man. You didn't get it for real. You could have went to Thailand. I mean, let's tell the truth.
Yeah.
Asian men are fucking hot.
They are. They are. I'm an anime watcher, so I know.
Right.
Very well.
Let's go ahead and put some truths out there. Let's go ahead and put some truths out there.
The truth of the matter is, human beings are attractive.
Asians, motherfucking hot.
Yeah.
Mexicans, motherfucking hot. Any region of fucking Africa, Middle East, y'all motherfucking hot. India, I know y'all like to go, oh, we got all of these issues. At the same time, did you know your personalities make y'all fucking attractive?
Yeah, I was going to say that. I love the culture.
I don't give
of
two
Indian
fucks
men.
about the way that you look. Yeah, some of y'all may not look physically impressive, but I don't need physically impressive when it comes to what I need from people.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I think all people of color need to grasp is, like I said, from all indigenous people of this world. I can't even think of a Native American, a Tongan or Samoan, or, like I said, just Asian, African, Middle Eastern persons that make me go, no.
You know what I realized with most of those politicians, because like I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not for either party, and I think I am legally registered as a Democrat, and I did that only because when Bernie Sanders was first running, in order to have him be the primary candidate, I had to participate in the caucus, and in order to be the caucus, I had to be a Democrat. So that's the only reason I registered, so that I could participate in that caucus. And we all know how that turned out. So, it didn't go the way I wanted. I wasn't very happy.
Not to say that I didn't want. Not to say that I didn't want other candidates. Me, myself, I'm a Bernie fan.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie is like the last motherfucking man in Congress.
Right.
I know people like to go, oh, but you're just being... No. Bernie is that grandfather that knew his own fuck-ups and would tell you.
Bernie's that old person that's gotten to the point where they're so fucking old they don't give a fuck. Like, they just say what it is. They don't care how you feel about it or if it hurts your feelings or if it, is what we're doing. Like, he's going to say, this isn't fair. This is going to disproportionately affect people and poor people and people of color. And that's the truth, whether you like it, you don't like it, whether it fits into your agenda.
Now, see, that statement right there is what I would rather hear. Bernie is the truth. Bernie has no problem telling us the truth as people. You said you've been here in Colorado.
Yeah, about 15 years now.
About 15 years. Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Florida. That's where I tell people is my home. I'm a military kid. I've lived a little bit of everywhere. I was born in Hawaii. I lived in California and Alabama, Louisiana, and Idaho, Seattle, Washington. I've lived in a lot of places, but Florida is where I call home. My grandmother owned her home there, and as I said, like, I spent a lot of time with my grandma in my grandma's house. So Florida is where I consider my home to be because that's where her home was. And so yeah, I've got like really great perspective of this country in a whole because I've lived in different areas and different regions of the country. So I've gotten to see the different cultures and the way things are. And I've gotten to see how politics are in each state. I've gotten to experience different school systems, better school systems versus not so great school systems. And so, my understanding of this country and the way things are being ran and how things are going, has completely been shaped by my experience of living in different places. And I would say Colorado's got one of the best school systems that I've been in.
I tell black people all the time, Colorado is one of the most freest states that you could ever move to. True. There is not one place in Colorado that black people will go that you'll hear, y'all niggas can't be here. We've been to Vail, Aspen, Grand Junction, Pueblo, Fort Collins, even with racist police in Fort Collins. Like, the police officers may be racist, but here's the thing. Nobody fucks with you unless you fuck up.
It's true.
And that's the one thing I can honestly say about it's true. I can't say that a lot of people have that understanding because of the simple fact that we like to get attitudes whenever we get an opportunity to.
Yeah. When I was in high school, I knew like the high school kids, when we were going to other places, we did go to some school like out in Granby, I think is where football players was calling us niggers. We was getting in fights on the fields and the teachers and coaches and referees was not really standing up for us. So I definitely experienced that here. I say that Denver is more like the Democratic Party. The racism is just more subtle. It's underneath.
They call you nigga behind your back.
Yeah.
And see, that's one of the things
underneath the surface. It's it's in the corporate office. It's
Once
at
again,
work.
They're emailing. You need to know those niggas.
Yeah, or talking about you in an email behind your back.
And you're like, oh, if we would have seen this email, like.
I will never forget that episode of Issa Rae where she went home and she was mad on Insecure. She was talking to Lawrence about work. And she was like, they having secret mic meetings and passing secret mic emails about me. And I was like, yes.
Because honestly,
what
like
we
that's
do.
the way, that's honestly the way that life is for us, and people do not grasp it. Unfortunately, like once again, even on social media, we're told you can't be a nigga on social media. You can be a white person
Oh,
on social media, but you can't be a nigga on social media. Don't be that nigga like me that uses nigga, or like Sean Wayans. Shout out Sean Wayans. Sean Wayans, I have to applaud you because you use the word nigga repeatedly. And here's my thing about the word nigga. I do not like black folks that can't use the word nigga or don't use the word nigga.
Facts.
My issue is with this. You have too many third world countries that can comprehend the English language very well, to the point to where they have made this statement. Black people took a word that meant something completely negative and took off 2 letters, added 1 letter, and changed the whole dynamic of the word.
Because that's who we is. We make lemonades from lemons, baby.
Amen.
We do that with everything. Everything.
Amen.
You take our you take our country, all right, we do rock and roll. You take rock from us, okay, well, we gonna do funk. You take funk from us, okay, well, now we doing rap.
Right.
You want to come take rap? Okay, well, now we gonna do reggaeton. Now we bringing Afro beats in. Like, now what you gonna take?
And that's the thing, is that a lot of us need to grasp that, one, there is a group of people that hate themselves.
Yes.
And we're joining their form of society.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many white people want sushi.
And then take it like it's their own. You know how many times I've had someone be in my comments like, oh, now black people want to like sushi. Like, when did you get to be the gatekeeper for sushi? You're not even Japanese. And you're
Not
in
even
my
that.
comment calling me out, telling me how fake I am because I'm a black woman who likes sushi, or I like anime. I can't like anime because I'm black.
DNA wise, guess what's the next closest thing to black folks?
Asians?
Ding! Have you noticed when you look at some Asian movies, you look at them and go, that's a nigga. No, like there be like a lot of them.
I have a lot of experience.
Kung Fu Hustle.
Oh, I love that movie.
Kung Fu Hustle has a lot of Asians with big lips in that motherfucker. Have you noticed that?
No, I never noticed that, but I will be honest and say, like, half my family is Filipino, like, and I live on the islands. I was born in Hawaii. Like, there's nothing but Asian folks, and I was just living back in Hawaii in 2019. So I was there recently, and I can tell you, every time I'm there, I'm constantly reminded of how much they are like black people. Hawaiian people used to be as dark as me or darker.
I honestly
They are built like that, shaped like us. They look like us.
Well, to a point.
They did. They're past them. They're past
No. There are still some of those that still have that flat back butt, and which is not to say it like this, but at the same time, a lot of Filipino men and women switch.
Oh, yeah.
Men and women.
Yeah.
They all switch. When you see one walk, you go, oh.
That's the culture. And it's actually because they all wear flip-flops.
Yes.
So they're all wearing flip-flops.
Yes.
And it just alters the way they walk. Because I live, like I said, when you live in Hawaii, there's like nothing but Filipinos. And my godmother is Filipino. And so I'm very like in tune with their food and their culture. And there's a lot of similarities. They know it. And I'm glad, like, when I'm online, I'm starting to see more Asians speak out and say about their history and claim that, we are connected and starting to openly admit that they enjoy our cultures and that they love us too, and that they need to root out their own internal biases.
Once again, Hassan Minaj,
yeah, I like him,
comedian,
yeah,
made the statement that Indians have a word for the darkest of the Indians of their culture, which, okay, We understand that.
Right.
People have a problem with dark-skinned folks.
Right.
Me, myself, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Me,
Most of the
myself.
people in my circle.
I mean,
I only associate with people who have that outlook on
now,
life, you know?
I don't want people to think that I only like dark-skinned motherfuckers. I'm saying in general.
Same, but
You know what I mean? When y'all... see, I'm about to tell on us light-skinned. Okay. Because so many people put so much emphasis on light-skinned motherfuckers, there are light-skinned motherfuckers who believe that they look good. Me, myself, for real. Just because people put that premise on it.
Yeah.
Somebody told me I should be happy. I've told you this, I have self-esteem issues.
Yeah.
These are things that I fight on a day-to-day basis.
Same.
It's not that I can't get over my self-esteem issues. I get over my self-esteem issues on a day-to-day basis, especially when I'm doing the show.
Right.
At the same time, somebody told me that I should be grateful and thankful that I'm light-skinned and I have green eyes. That's what makes me fine. I said,
Ooh. Ooh, that's nasty.
I said, what? She said, well, you're light-skinned and you got green eyes. Nobody's going to look at past that.
Oh, man.
And I said, that's fucked up.
It is.
But she said, once again, and this is somebody I went to school with. She told me, she said, nobody's ever thought you were ugly. And I said, but I've always thought I was ugly, like, only because the people that were supposed to tell me that I wasn't ugly never told me that.
Right. Right.
And that's an issue.
Right. Well,
we as in black people need to honestly just go, you know what? We all are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a rainbow of people that are actually beautiful people. Like you go to our albino community.
Mm-hmm.
You go to our pygmy community in Africa. You go to our tallest Africans and you look at their skin and you look at
it is beautiful.
I mean, just in general, you go, wow.
It is breathtaking.
Not know God
could make a color, a shade, a tone, that skin could come in such a way that skin could glow the way it glows, or that it can look as smooth as marble sometimes. And I love it. I mean, because for American standards, I'm a dark-skinned woman.
Right.
In African standards, I'm light-skinned.
Light-skinned, yes.
I'm not dark-skinned.
Yeah.
This melanin spectrum goes way beyond me. And it is beautiful. Every single time I see a photo of someone who is way darker than me or beyond the spectrum in melanin than I am, I'm flawed. Like, I wish my skin was as smooth as their skin looks, as blemish-free as their skin is, as naturally glowing and glistening as their skin tends to be. Just beautiful. I am blown away by our people every day, because we are so beautiful, and the world knows it. The world knows it. People just don't want to admit it.
You know what's hard for them to admit is I want to respond to your question. I mean, your statement. Yes. Being honest to yourself is the hardest thing in the world to do.
Right.
There are things that I say that people take negatively. Because I worked in healthcare.
Okay.
23 years. So, not just healthcare, I worked in dialysis.
Okay, yeah.
One of the things about dialysis is people lose their mind while they're on dialysis. And we, as the individuals taking care of them, have to pay attention and watch the signs and symptoms. Right now, I think a majority of America, I'm cool, are seeing the signs. Ashtray. are seeing the signs and the symptoms
Mm-hmm.
of schizophrenia and a couple of other, I could say, sociopath, psychopath, from level ranging 1 to 3, not anything
Yeah.
3 to 5 or 3 to 6. I'm saying just anywhere from 1 to 3.
Okay.
That's what we're promoting right now.
Mm.
And that's when it comes to us, we need to be honest about what we're seeing going on in America.
Mm.
America's trying to get us to promote its psychological issues as healthy.
Yeah. That's normal.
Not as in let's work these shits out. Okay? I'm gonna give you an example. Me, I just happen to be. Look, I'm looking at one on the camera, not even on. Right? By the way, I rolled up some cookies from Kind Love.
Oh yeah.
It's cookies and cream. One of my things about cookies and cream from Kind Love is you taste the cookie and the cream after you blow the smoke out. So I want you to look for that, okay?
Okay.
If you can't taste it, let me know.
Mm.
But that's one of the things that got me.
Yeah, and I know what it's like to, deal with that. The more and more I look at our people online and, in our day to day interactions, I realize the more, the more I start to be aware of the fact that there are a lot of, health issues that are just masking as normal, and everyone's allowing it. Like, we're not calling it and we're not saying nothing about it. And we've created so much stigma around mental health that people are unwilling to speak out and admit that they are having these issues. And so
Do you
I'm
think
just,
Hollywood has allowed us to lie?
yeah, because Hollywood makes it, it makes it look normal. If you can look at Hollywood and see someone who's doing what you're doing, then it feels like, okay, I'm not that bad. Someone else is out there doing it too.
Doing worse.
Yeah.
Like, I tell people, they like to think about Jeffrey Epstein's, but I want y'all to think about this one. Think about all the white gay Jeffrey Epstein's.
Mm.
Y'all need to think about that one. See, Terry Crews was grabbed by a man.
Yeah.
This is what a lot of people don't think. They think he was sexually harassed by somebody in the industry. Oh,
no.
That was a man.
A man rolled up on him and grabbed him.
A man rolled up on him
in front of his wife.
And grabbed him like...
But you know what? That brings me to, I have experience personally with a lot of Black men who have experienced that in their everyday life. Like,
with
women,
women
just walking up on them, white women, Latin women, Asian women, just walking up on them at work and just grabbing on them, just touching on them. And they're like, what am I supposed to do in that moment? Like, if I get too aggressive, then, this is some white woman, this is an Asian woman, I'm 6'2", I'm a Black man, and like I'm getting aggressive with her, it may be seen wrong, but if I act like I like it, then and so I think most Black guys just act like they like it because that's the safer alternative than deflecting this person or embarrassing this woman or something like that. So I've dated plenty of Black men who have expressed to me trauma around that because it's been going on since they were kids, not as adults, but since they were 7 and 6. Women have just been walking up on them touching on them and grabbing on them inappropriately.
And
And it's not talked about enough. It's completely inappropriate, and women need to stop it.
that is a form of child molestation.
It is. And that's rampant in Hollywood too.
And that is something that people do not want to communicate about. I
Mhm.
totally understand. Working it once again, my background is healthcare.
Right.
Okay. I'm not gonna say that I was the go-to guy when it came to emergency dialysis.
Mm.
However, working that occurred more frequently than least frequently. Meaning that a lot of new patients. Ooh.
Oh, I do taste like a little sweet aftertaste.
And that's just some good weed. Right? A lot of new patients on dialysis who have ESRD have delusions.
Mm.
They think because they're able to piss a little bit while they're on dialysis that their kidneys are still working.
Mm.
So they'll go on a bender.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Not that they go and just, but they'll, while they're eating dinner, they'll drink some water.
Mm.
They'll go to lunch because they still feel good, eat a full lunch, have a large soda or something. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because they feel better.
Right.
Later on that evening or the next morning, they're feeling real shitty.
Oh.
Yeah. And they go to the emergency room, and we have to emergency dialyze them.
Mm-hmm.
You learn so much when you're in dialysis. When you get to emergency room, now you're learning so much more with the people that are all in emergency. Because one, who's not at the hospital? You name one person, vegan, Ethiopian, white, black, Asian, Spanish, gay, straight, cancer, thyroid.
Yeah, they're all at.
I mean, diabetes. For real. Who's not at the hospital? You name one person. Overweight people, underweight people, vegan, vegetarian, you know what I mean? Who's not at the hospital? So, all of these conversations start to come up. As this person's on this bender, you start to learn.
I'm good. I'm pretty.
Yeah, because we're high. Yours was a very good sativa.
It was. It's
This is a
tasty.
This is a hybrid. It's
Okay.
a perfect. This is honestly a great half and half.
It is.
I'm gonna let it go out. That's the only reason I'm still high. Don't laugh. Look, I am. But no. So in general, it makes you think about other groups of people in life and how they're handling situations.
Right.
Like, once again, a lot of people don't know that when HIV extends or turns to AIDS,
Mm-hmm.
body parts start to fail.
Oh no.
Yeah. The kidneys is one of the first things to go. It just is what it is.
Right.
In general, you learn that people have all of these things going on, and yet when they get to a place of having to fight for life, the mentality or the mentality changes. But like I said, the new patients don't think that their kidneys have failed, so they get on the bender and then they come into the emergency room and get emergency dialysis. People are like that in general. As in, like, I can't speak for women, but for men, right? You have a lot of men who have been raped or molested before the age of knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're saying accept your what has been created from in society. Are you seeing any of that? Or
No, yeah, I'm definitely seeing that. Um, I've been in relationships with black men who are schizophrenic and who have expressed to me some sexual trauma from the age of 5 or 4, and you have to wonder, like, if those things
at a
didn't happen
trend,
to them,
right?
would they be this way, and would their
Yeah.
life be like this? And I just it's not talked about enough, and it's buried. And part of the reason why it's not talked about is because a lot of times people are so busy trying to live life, like just work and make a check and get by, like they don't have the time or the pace or the space to like really sit and deal with yourself. Self-healing is really a feminine energy. It's really a feminine trait. The feline cleans itself, it sits and it grooms itself, but you have to have space and time to sit and be with yourself and really do that. If you're too busy out here living life, you won't be able to do it. And so this is part of the reason why I think, having a home is so important, because it
Amen.
gives you that space of your own to really sit and create and be with yourself, a safe space for you to do that. And when you're in the hood, it's not safe. You're worried. Like, I lived in the hood. You're worried 24/7.
I mean, not even that it's just in the hood. When you know that you are in an area
Mm-hmm.
of individuals that you're going to have to work even harder than you're working already
Yeah.
to maintain what you have. So
Mm-hmm.
you're constantly, not that it's a bad thing, but if you're the only one doing it,
Yeah.
starting with your neighbor, if you're the only one going to your neighbor and talking to your neighbor about why you take care of your home,
Mm-hmm.
why you believe in God the way you believe in God,
Mm-hmm.
the way the your reasoning on why you still choose to stay in the hood,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a lot of work for one person.
Yeah.
If it is not the whole neighborhood trying to better that neighborhood, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the reason why I think a lot of people leave the hood, is
Mm-hmm.
because it's not that they don't want to create that.
It's just that they have to get to a place of space and healing so that they can deal with their own shit. Like, you got to get your own shit out the way before you can help other people. You got to take care of you first. You can't help others if you're not taking care of you. Like, you got to take care of you first. That's why, everybody points to when you're on the flight. It says put your own oxygen mask on first and then help somebody else. Because you're no good to nobody if you are taken out because of trauma that you haven't dealt with, or hurt that you haven't gotten complete with, or your own health, not going to the doctor, not going to the dentist. And I'm responsible. I'm bad about going to the dentist. Okay, I don't like the dentist. But
We're not even
it's
going to talk
important
about going to the dentist. See, why you want to bring up that
because I
subject in
was
general?
just sick last week because I had been to the dentist and I had some wisdom teeth coming in, and they were crushing the front teeth, which caused an infection, and half my face swelled up, and I had to have surgery. And so this is why I'm saying consistently be going to the dentist, Go to your doctor's appointments, yo. I know it's scary, and I know for a lot of us it's new because we didn't go to the doctors like that as children, and that's because our parents didn't go to the doctors and our grandparents didn't go to the doctors on a regular basis. It was not a common thing for our community because it hasn't really been available for us. So it's new, but go to the doctors, check on yourself, love on yourself, know what's going on with you. It's important because that's the only way we're going to be able to go back to our neighborhoods and change something. We have to take care of ourselves first.
That whole loving yourself, that right there is a hood generational issue. It don't matter what poor side of town you are from, white, black, Asian, Spanish, Indian. When you come from what society believes is nothing, yet it is something to you, that is a form of trauma that is built from that.
Yeah.
You know, I know black people who don't mentally know they hate themselves and are with white people for that same reason.
I know a lot of them.
The same person that they're with, though, hates themselves. Like they find another person in another race that also hates themselves. Like the person that I know, her husband believes that he understands black people and the funk.
What?
When they grew up, the funk was the thing.
Oh.
Right? And everybody knows, I mean, California, black folks, Earth, Wind, and Fire, during that whole time, Oakland gave us something so passionate, so damn near spiritual, they called it funk. James Brown band members, they left James Brown and P-Funk was invented.
Right.
But yeah, this individual believes that they understand the culture and the society because that's what they grew up on. And I'm sitting there going, so you hate yourself as a white man?
No.
For real, he's telling me all these things that show nothing but he wishes he never grew up white.
Yeah, and that's, that's a hard pill for them to swallow. I think that there really needs to be some internal talks over there because there's definitely a facet of them who are mad that they don't have color, are envious of it.
Well, the black wife.
So
the black wife, once again, she was always making the statement, well, because I wasn't really liked by all the other black people I grew up around.
I've heard it.
Grew in the hood. From the hood.
I heard it. And I could believe it if she grew up here. I mean,
we're not gonna talk about where she grew up. Because that's gonna make it. Yeah, because that'll make it even worse. Like honestly, there's more niggas around.
Say that, you know what I mean? You grew up here. I understand.
And that's the thing. It's like these individuals don't realize in their statements.
That's a lot of internal hatred and hurt.
Right, that they're not facing, but they sit there and they tell people this is their reason for dating outside their race because you hate yourself. And that's the underlying issue.
Dang. I don't know. I know that that's the case for a lot, and I've seen it. I've definitely had some black guys tell me like, oh, if I had known what I know now, I probably wouldn't have married my wife or whatever. And that's sad to hear, because I don't want to hear that for some other woman. Like, I'm not that hurt. I want y'all to be happy and it to be true. But what really matters is what you raising your kids to believe. Like, y'all have children together. So what are you raising them to believe about me as a black woman and about our community? And like, how are you doing that? That's really what matters to me. Because what you feel about yourself, shoot, you got to work that out. But like, what are you teaching your children to feel about our community? Like, are you teaching them to love us and to embrace us and to be part of us, or are you teaching them to be, looking down on us too and thinking that we're not worthy of being around too? Because that's just going to lead to another generation of hurt and of disconnect, and that's not what I want ultimately, you know.
And that's the thing, is that a lot of people do not grasp that that is possible,
Mm-hmm.
to have that much hurt within yourself that that's not acknowledged,
Mm-hmm.
that they don't realize these things until afterwards. Like I got family members that have married outside of our race.
Yeah.
At the same time, the ones that did it during a time where they would get killed
Mm-hmm.
for being with each other. So I know their love to be something honest and pure. Like when
Right.
you had to take the black roads
Mm-hmm.
because of being caught up in some shit, like that's the type of shit my aunt and my uncle had to go through.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's crazy to see individuals that are just playing.
Who are lost, who really don't know themselves. Like
And that's
really,
it.
that's
I mean,
ultimately it. You don't know who you are, so you're just dating what you think you want and what you think is going to be good and what you think is going to work. And until you do the self work, you really don't know what's going to work for you. You really don't know because you haven't really gotten your trauma out the way and you haven't gotten the white supremacy out your head. And I know people are going to be like, what? Like, I don't have that white supremacy in my head. Like, yes, we all have that internal talk that says, am I good enough? Am I smart enough? I'm not, can I do it? That's internal things that we
that's a
have been
grown up.
fed about ourselves. It's not something that because if you look at your life, you've done it. You've done it in real time, but you still doubt yourself.
But at the same time, though, don't you think that that's like a grown up, like in general? When you're able to take the information that you have learned and then process it in your head and go, this is the best way to take this situation right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a grown up. Like I tell people all the time, the two hardest things in the world to be are a man and a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, you have males so envious of women.
Yeah.
You have males so envious of women
Yeah.
that they want to be women. Nobody's grasping that whole little scenario right there.
Well,
Envy being one of the 7 deadly sins.
this is true. Yeah.
You have males who don't want to be men, who are so afraid of being a man that they envy a woman to the point of wanting to be one.
So there's some things about that, right? I don't know if that to be true. I haven't experienced it and I don't know. But I feel like, there are some people, I believe that we're all spiritual beings having a human experience. So I think that there were a lot of women who were being born, but maybe there were not enough, women being born on the planet at this time, and maybe some of them had to be men. And so I feel like it's perfectly logical that some of the men who are born really identify with being a woman. After all, like all of my eggs are women, all of the babies I have in me are women, and some of them transition to men in the womb, and some of them don't. And so I think that sometimes some of them intended
Look
on
at
being women,
you.
and then they were born a man, and they're not happy with that. And I think that that's perfectly logical. And then I believe in reincarnation. I believe in reincarnation. I don't believe in like a heaven or hell. I believe that you're reborn into the future generations, which is why most African cultures and most spiritual cultures put a huge emphasis on taking care of your children and raising your children, because you're raising your potential future selves. You have to instill those values in your children so that you can ensure when you're reborn into your family that you're born into a loving, strong, structured family, so that you have an opportunity to really make another difference on this world. That's what I believe. And so,
That is
considering how
very
many Black
deep.
women and men have been murdered within the last 500 years, I just think that there's so many of us waiting to be reincarnated, and there's just not enough of us being born. Like, there's not enough of
That's
us.
a very deep way to put that. Like, some people would be like, "Oh, you thought about reincarnation?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Right?
I
No,
believe in
but
reincarnation. That's
I'm
what I
saying,
do.
and that is that is an honestly eye-opening. I ain't talking about these two. I'm talking about the third.
Yeah.
Some of y'all that don't know, there is a third.
Yes.
But no, look, just because of the simple fact, like a lot of people, man, a lot of people take for granted. I'm a guy of health.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to me in general, science rocks
Right.
because science also allows us to see God.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like to go, "Oh, people don't believe in God." That's bullshit. Understand, in healthcare, there is something called a God factor. Do y'all want to know what the God factor is? Once every diagnosis has been done, once everything has been multiplied and added and subtracted and all of these things, guess what? Once we can't figure it out, who do you think we say it is?
It's God. Yeah. Some higher power.
I mean, people love to say that we don't believe in healthcare.
Mm.
We see God's works in healthcare on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There are people who can't heal from a cut. Nobody grasps this. The majority of people don't even know that information,
Mm.
right?
Right.
But there are people that, if you cut them, they will continue to bleed
Right.
unless they get medical attention. They will continue to bleed. And that is just one of the things that God has done. When it comes to us, though, as people,
Mm.
we're talking about the ones that we know are male, the ones that we know are female.
Mm.
As a male, right, I know my role and responsibility in my life
Mm.
and towards others. Love everything that God has created.
Mm.
Love God first. Love everything that God has created. Those two things are the hardest things in the world to do. The
Mm.
first one I'm doing. I can't even lie. Every day I'm grateful and thankful.
Oh.
Loving everything that God created, I learned how to love people in healthcare.
Okay. That's really powerful.
I learned to love people through healthcare, and that was God's plan.
Mm.
Because I wanted to destroy everything.
Mm. That's deep. That's honest too.
No, people don't even think about how honest that is.
Mm.
Like, to know that you're working for the one thing that wants to end all things,
Mm.
you get to a point and you go, all right, we can make this happen. Everybody's working together as a team, Team Evil. We can make this happen. And guess what happens? God intervenes and the human experience takes over. Do you
Right.
grasp that?
Yeah.
Right when you think that evil person that you think is about to do the most evilest thing that they would ever do, you think this is about to go down. Yes. For real, this is Team Evil. It's about to go down. Yes. Then humans. God just does one thing. God does one little thing with the power of a mustard seed. It does something inside somebody's soul and spirit that completely changes the outcome of that whole situation. And they go, you know what? I can't do this.
Well, they need to put a little bit of that in Mitch McConnell, please. Sprinkle a little bit on Mitch, because I can't stand Mitch motherfucking McConnell. Go and intervene over there. Let me tell you that.
But that's what people do not grasp about evil and good. One, neither side can ever be dominant.
No, it's always going to be a balance. There's always got to be a balance.
That is God. Like, for me, your most evilest thought that you could come up with, right? Your most evilest thought.
You know, I've never really thought about what that is.
Got a trumpet.
People be surprising me every day with the stuff they be doing.
And I'm just saying, though. But think about it, though. Your most evilest thought, right? God could trumpet. Your greatest emotion, your greatest feeling, right? The one that you created for yourself. God can come in and give you one that'll be like, man, like, I thought me getting on this roller coaster was the best part. Like, getting on the roller coaster, the people that you meet in the line of the roller coaster.
Yeah.
When you get to the roller coaster, you get the front of the line because people go, oh, yeah, you want to run on the line? Here you go. You know what I mean? Then you get off the roller coaster, you meet their friends, meet your friends. Y'all all have an experience, something so grand, so just, once again, we love to pretend like we are in control when everything we do is not pre-planned or ordained. It's just in general, when we let go and let God, our purpose can come.
Oh, I can understand that for some people. That doesn't work for me. You know, I'm the master of my own universe. What I say goes, and what I want to happen happens. So I manifest in real life in real time.
Got you. I'm not saying I don't.
No, I'm not saying anything either.
Yeah.
I'm just saying what I am and what I do and how I
don't
be.
doubt that. I've told people all the time, I believe women can change the world.
I do too, if they just only believed in their own power. But the world has taught women to cut themselves off from the neck down and to not feel anything and to just be pretty.
Well, that's just it, though. Women back in the day knew that they weren't like godly women. Like Mary, it doesn't say that Mary started an argument right after she was, you know what I mean? Like, because that's the way men document shit. You know what I mean? Right? Petty, like. So, in general, you would think after that conversation, after Jesus said, you without seeing cast the first stone, after everybody couldn't throw no stone, you would think Mary would have turned around and said, yeah, and all y'all motherfuckers calling me a whore, y'all ain't gonna call me no whore no more. Like
Mary Magdalene.
You know what I mean? For real. Samson and Delilah. You know what I mean?
Funny.
I can see Delilah saying, somebody going, oh, you're going to go see your lady, Delilah, and Delilah being like, I ain't no fucking lady. You know what I mean? Like,
this is funny.
But that's something I can see because the people held themselves accountable. Solomon said, I'm going out for a night of debauchery. We know what that means. I mean, you're going out for a night of whoring. That was the actual definition of going out for a night of debauchery.
Ugh. Don't remind me of all the things that make my skin crawl about that book.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, in general, like, people, that's what healthcare made me see. Like, people are people.
Yeah.
And in the past, one of the things that I do see is that a woman's version of the past has been eliminated throughout history. Do you think that's real?
Yeah, no one wants to hear about the suffering of women. They want to hear about the greatness of men. That's why our history is all from the male perspective.
I'm not even saying that it's the that part of women that people don't want to hear about. Um, you know how the Catholic Church doesn't want to hear about its being child molesting, raping of
Yeah.
boys, right?
Right.
Yet they'll tell you that Greek scholars, when they all got together, that was one of the major things that they talked about and did. Got into baths. This is what educated people decided to do. Get into baths and have sex with boys.
Ooh. Oh, putting the Catholic Church out there, aren't we?
But this is what this is what they put on history.
This is true. This is true.
Which if it looks
Which
like
makes it
honestly,
all,
which makes it look like they was the ones that was the rapists and the child molesters and the Greeks and
it was all in it together.
the Greeks. Then they were the first mixed group of people. Did you know that?
Yeah, the Greeks and the Italians.
No. The Italians weren't even like the Moors made Italians.
Yeah.
They were sleeping in their own.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying.
I
They're
just
all
see-
the
yeah.
first groups of mixed people because,
Yeah, no,
and that's
no.
why they're
Like-
not accepted by
like-
most white people
like
because they know that.
yeah, but the ones that was mixing in Greece were not the same as the ones that were mixing in Italy. 'Cause they
Right.
was, you know what I mean? They still had that where purity,
Right.
but in general, my thing is that they were like the first mixed culture to be civil.
Yeah, as civil as they could be.
I mean, once again, Victor is
Yeah,
history is told by Victor.
and they're
And even when you read about their history, it's once again, it's
all fabricated.
Yeah, it's not.
It's all fabricated.
Greek history is not given
It's
to us
not
by
real
the Greeks.
history, no.
Right. It would be
No.
a different story if the Greeks gave us their history, because their history says a complete different story.
Mm-hmm.
Alexandria, in general, was burnt down because of they said all magic information was held in Alexandria.
Mm.
In that library, the Library of Alexandria, like
Right.
everything on magic,
Mm.
as they say, Jesus and them call it the
Yeah,
The
no, it was
known.
one of the two. It was one of the two
well, the
libraries.
unknown. Excuse me. You have the known and then the unknown. The known is your five senses.
Mm.
The unknown is what we don't know.
Right. That chakra alignment's your third eye, which
Correct.
you can know.
That is what the third eye is. The
Mhm.
unknown.
It's the unforeseen, and this is why most people don't deal with it because it can't be seen. So most people don't believe in spiritual alignment or chakras because it's not something that they can actually see. It's only something that you can feel once it happens. And if you're not willing to be open to it, then it won't happen. And so it takes a lot of openness, but to get that open, you have to deal with your traumas first. Like the truth of the matter is that trauma disrupts your alignment with your internal self and with your chakras. When you're a child, you're in full alignment. But when you experience
Completely
some
open.
level of trauma, it completely disaligns your body. And if no one takes that time to heal that trauma, then it will just continue to fester and grow. And then it turns into health problems down the road. Then you're starting to have health issues and you can't figure out why. You can't sleep at night. You're always up, because you always have dreams and so they wake you up. And so we don't ever do the next step, which is go to therapy and figure out what is this? Which is what happens a lot of times in white cultures. I remember speaking of the Catholic Church, when I watched that documentary on the Catholic Church that HBO has, if you haven't seen it, it's amazing. Go watch it. And the guy on there who busts the whole story open
I already see
said
it.
that he just couldn't sleep. He kept waking up. And it was because he kept remembering this trauma that happened to him as a child. And it was through therapy that he finally was able to really pull it out and see what happened. And then he was able to get in action and do
By
something
the
about
way, the Incredible Hulk, the character who plays the Incredible Hulk is in that movie. the Boston Parish.
Yep. Yep.
That movie is fucking brilliant.
I cried.
Of course, but
I
think
cried.
about it.
I snot
A lot of
cried.
people don't want to grasp that there are traumas. I am a black man. Period. Point blank.
Right.
But I'm gay. So a lot of people do not even associate that with me in conversation or anything when they have their conversations and we're just talking in general.
Right.
So I hear honest conversation more often than I hear people's non-honest conversation. Like if I was one of the feminine acting gay dudes, they'd be like, their conversation would be
shallow. It'd be real. Hey, girl.
Not even that. Like just in general.
Fashion, clothes, and whatever. Yeah.
Right. Which a lot of people don't know. There are individuals who don't comprehend that. And we also know that a lot of those individuals are the trauma-struck individuals that you're talking about.
Yes. Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
That whole personality, that whole flamboyantness that they give. Like, I didn't grow up. There's no trauma forgotten for me. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't have sex until I was 16. And I knew when my baby mama left, she was pregnant. Without a shadow of a doubt.
You knew.
This is how, once again, that's how my energy was. I was in tune with being me. I wasn't trying to have sex. I wasn't trying to be out there in the world. Like, that wasn't my main issue. My main issue was I was being bad because I wanted the answer to a question, right? I was mad that nobody was trying to answer this question and everybody around me knew the answer to the goddamn question. That was my issue, right? God comes in and answers the question when I'm 36 years old. Whole different story. All I'm saying is this. I don't know the experience of being sexually molested, right? Okay. Because our family did a great job of keeping an eye on us. And it almost seemed like black people knew who the molesters were.
Yes.
Right? Like they would say things like, you can't leave such and such and such and such. You know what I mean?
But and no one ever does anything about it.
No. On the other part of that, right? My son's mother and her sister were molested by their grandfather for years, and everybody in their family knew it. Nobody said nothing.
I hear that often. I hear that story so often.
And nobody said.
Often. I heard one girl told me her grandpa used to line her and all the grandkids up, all of them, and one at a time, just one at a time. Then from 2 up to like 7, they would stand in a line and one at a time come sit in his lap, and he would do whatever, and then up to the next one, and they would all stand there and watch. And one day it like came out when they were all standing around the kitchen at the barbecue, just going back and forth because they all knew because it happened to the moms. So the moms were aware that their dad was like this, and you still sent your kids
and
over
see, that's
there.
what I'm saying. Like,
and so it was like a whole thing.
For me, that, like I said, and for me, that whole shit just, I don't get it, right?
I don't either.
I can't get to know someone and I know that is who that's the individual that was created. Like, what if that never happened?
Who would they be if that wasn't
once again
their experience in life?
That's why I said, when you said that was very powerful. Because once again, I've been single since we're not even gonna go there. At the same time, though, every guy I know who has been interested in me wanted to cross this line, right? And I told them that's what causes AIDS, and they would be like, "But that's the way folks make love." No, understand, mating is made for mating. I don't take that away from anything. Right. Mating is made for mating.
Right.
That's not lovemaking, though. Mating is not lovemaking, and
Right.
lovemaking is not mating. And when people and guys, we're dumb and we try to play smart. For real. We try to play smart by doing these things. By saying, oh, I got a woman inside of me. Nigga, you don't remember being born. So don't you tell me you were born this way. I don't remember coming out the womb. Okay? You're not about to tell me to tell myself that I was born this way. And this is the things that I've had to conversate with about people. You know what I mean? Don't try to tell me I was born this way. When I got into college, somehow, some way, I opened my mind to a motherfucker. That's it. That's all it was. I opened my mind to an experience. There wasn't no, oh, you got turned out. I don't know what being turned out is. That sounds crazy to me.
I think that every human being is a little bisexual, honestly. And I think that that's why you see so much backlash to people being gay, is because it's like, well, I felt that way too, but I didn't make that choice. So, like, how are you going to make that choice? So I think that people are just not really being honest about it, and they're kind of offended that you actually chose to act on those emotions when they choose to deny that. And it maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I don't know. But that's just my opinion. I don't know.
But
If
like
you
I
open
said,
your mind
for
up
me,
to it, I think you can fall in love with anybody if you open
that's
yourself
the
up
thing.
to it. I really do.
Part 2 of what Jesus came back and said. Love everything that God has created. Not man, God. There's not one snowflake the same.
Yeah, that's true. Shit, even the animals in the pack are not the same. They may have the same colors and shades, but they're all different.
You have a symbiotic organism living in the mountains of Colorado. The largest symbiotic organism ever. People don't even know that.
I don't.
The aspen trees.
Oh.
They are all one network, like in freaking Avatar.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything connected.
Yeah.
Every aspen tree is connected. It is the largest mass connection living organism ever on this planet found.
Wow. I did not know that. Now I'm going to go up there and look at those trees with a whole different opinion.
All of them, each leaf on every tree, each tree completely different. This is how powerful God is.
But they're all connected.
Right. And people love to say, being gay is... No, there are things that folks need to grasp. Just because we're fucking unicorns doesn't mean we can run around going, yeah, 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 look at me.
Shoot, stretch your shit.
That's not, but it don't make no sense.
Show it, strut it. I'm all for self-expression. I want people to be able to be their best. It's honest.
It's not.
They be their happiest self, and they bright, colorful, and they be looking good. They be looking good. Like they be looking good. You're not seeing
the individual that goes home though.
I don't know, but I just know that if that's how they want to come out and present themselves, it's almost like a peacock. Like the peacock, when it opens up its feathers, it struts it. It shows it off. It put it in your face. The ones
that know and give it the show, that's what they know. You understand? But the ones that's out there, they've been acting for a long time. That's what a lot of people don't grasp.
Yeah, and you could speak it from personal experience. I have no idea.
That's what I'm saying. For God. You
yeah.
understand? I'm speaking for God.
I have no idea.
They have been lying and acting for a long time. I know a guy who got married. This is what y'all want to. The girl knows he is. They have a child. Now they're getting divorced. I said, excuse me. I said, what was the point of this? I just wanted to experience it. But you knew you were gay.
That's because society keeps force feeding this narrative that the only type of happy life is one with a husband and a wife and a child. And until we accept that we are all spiritual beings having a human experience, that means that each one of us are going to be very different, and we're going to be attracted to different things, and we may connect with different spirits, and those people may not be in the vessel that other people find acceptable. But that's not for us to decide.
Period.
And we just need to have it be where everyone can just mind their own business.
Well, there's certain things, but
Like,
once again, there are certain things that don't need to. The balance should never be upset.
mm, yeah.
As someone,
Yeah, you know, as you
okay,
know, womb bearer, I agree. There has
okay,
to be a
and
substantial balance.
and that is what my issue is. People trying to upset the balance, pretending that they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can grasp two women, beautiful women, being lesbians.
Mm.
When I see, not to say it like this, a butch lesbian and a feminine acting lesbian, I go, there's some trauma that hasn't been dealt with.
No, like, cause I'm a bisexual woman, so I date women and I date men. And I personally, I like someone who really understands the divine feminine. And the problem is, a lot of men are not really taught that. It's not
That is not.
prioritized, and so a lot of men don't know how to operate in a manner that is conducive for a woman. They're always either being too overbearing or like too clingy or very dominant, very controlling.
Oh,
And
wow.
sometimes femininity, we need a little space, a little room. And sometimes I just think
had a
that
conversation with a young
that's what it
lady.
is.
I just had a conversation with a young lady that said, she said, guys don't understand how hurtful it is to where when we don't like them in that manner, they still treat us. And it's not like you don't like not like them. It's just you don't like them in that sexual type of it's and she said just to see when you say that to a guy and you see their whole like she said you see this energy within a guy
Just
just
die,
completely like
drain
yeah
out.
like
And it's like, I should never have that type of effect on you. Like, I
but
am
that's
not.
why I say a woman has the ability to change the world when a male child is raised up to acknowledge each emotion that he's experiencing. That is a powerful man. Not that he goes and makes his emotions his key thing. He just knows each emotion that he's experiencing.
And how
A
to
majority,
express it in a healthy capacity and not just anger. So many times,
we only
anger
know the
is the
three.
only acceptable way we will allow men to express themselves.
A majority of guys only know the three: happy, mad, sad. When you tell a guy he's jealous, he be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know what you talking about. I don't know what jealous is."
I ain't jealous, huh?
Because nobody's broken it down to us, honestly. I sent a text message to somebody I sent a message on Facebook to somebody that I said, I think I owe you something. He don't know that it's an apology from when we was growing up.
Yeah.
That I was jealous of this nigga growing up. Like, that's how being a grown up to me works.
Yeah.
Being able to apologize for your past before shit happened. I did not
powerful.
realize that I was jealous of the fact of someone's confidence.
That's deep. That's deep.
Oh yeah, I consider myself to be growing on a day-to-day basis. That's the whole point of the show. Everybody that I interview, I consider to be more powerful individual than
Well, I
that
take
I
that
need
as
to
a
learn from.
I deeply deeply respect that. I do, and I see the work. I'm very impressed. You're very intuitive, and that's the first step. It's being more intuitive, like knowing what is going.
How is people gonna hear us? I guess people can hear us right here. Um, at the same time, though, that sucks.
Yeah.
I wish I would have been paying attention to that. Um, at the same time, I can't even think of what to do. That's when you know shit be wrong. That's when you know shit bad. You be like trying to figure out, well, what can I do right now? So even at that, like I said, the 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 best thing about anime for you right now is
Really, it's the character arcs. Like we were just talking about Vegeta, and he's got one of the best character arcs of a show. I truly believe that. I think we need to just go ahead and knight him King of the Saiyans. We call him Prince of all Saiyans, but we need to go ahead and make him.
Are you
king.
serious?
Yes.
How are we gonna do
Let me
that?
tell you why. Because Vegeta is one of the last members of the Saiyans who actually knows what he's talking about as far as their history, their culture, how they act, how they behave. And he's always dropping knowledge on them. He's always educating Goku about why he is the way he is. Because a Saiyan is like this. A Saiyan likes a strong woman. A Saiyan is like this. A Saiyan is a pride person, has a very prideful person. And we use our anger when he encountered his brother and the other two girls whose names I can't remember right now. When he encountered them, he didn't shun them. No, he took them under his wing and he taught them how to channel their anger into how to channel their anger and how to become a Super Saiyan. He showed them how to do that. He took them under his wing and he taught them, and that's what a leader does. And he also has become very strategic as we watched him in when we was watching him in the tournaments. He was very strategic and methodical with how he was doing things, and he was using Goku to his advantage, like putting Goku in position, telling Goku to do this, swapping out with Goku when he needs a break, and taking on. He was really being a team player, and that's what a leader does. A leader isn't always the strongest person, but he knows how to use the soldiers on the field to the best of their advantage and put them in position. And he always puts Goku in position to do what he has to do. And he's not afraid to take the charge.
right, Kakarot.
He's not afraid to take the lead on something.
Kakarot.
Like, he is a leader. And the way he protects his Bulma, how he stayed with her when she was pregnant, Goku has no awareness of his kids at all. Like Chi-Chi be cussing that nigga out because he don't spend enough time with Goten. She's like, you ain't never home.
You ain't ever home.
We need
nigga,
money. Do the crops. We need money. And your son needs to see his father. And this dude is like, well, actually, I'm going to go ask Whis to train me on the planet with Beerus so that I can become even stronger. I'm going to dip out, peace out for 2-3 months. At a time.
And that's one of the things that shows how the diversity of how strong a woman is.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? You can, when they say a woman can calm a savage beast, I really believe that there are men out here that will be broken. Oh shit.
Sorry, I just got a couple of text messages. You need
No,
to make
we're
sure
supposed
this
to
is
be
all
done.
right. Oh no, that's fine. My mom sent me a picture of some Tiana, a black girl dressed as Tiana.
We're supposed to be done anyways. I do apologize.
It's okay.
We are 10 minutes over, y'all. Because we 2 hours and we was on color people time because we color people. So
Exactly. But anyway,
right. You got me hooked on a show called Kingdom.
Great show, isn't it? It's
Let
amazing.
me. I want to go nuts on you. You had me watch a show that I ended up watching the whole fucking thing in a whole fucking weekend. That is something that I do not do.
That show is amazing. I'm so glad you got to watch it. It is a treasure, and more people should be watching it. More people should be talking about Kingdom, y'all. It's great. It is a phenomenal show. Great plot, great storyline, phenomenal characters, great character arcs, great redemption pieces, good, real suspenseful.
Nobody told me about this show. Like, I had seen a preview of the show when it had released season 1. You know how it says you might like, and I just watched the preview. You know what I mean? As you scroll through them, I watched the preview, move to the next one.
Right.
Didn't even, not that, and it's crazy because I'm not a fan of zombie shows. I wasn't a fan of The Walking Dead.
What?
I did The Walking Dead for the first 2-3 seasons.
Okay.
But
that was when it was really good. So you got the best of it, to be honest.
Right.
The first 3 seasons.
And that was my thing. But after that, it was just like...
My dad's still watching it. I can't believe it. I can't believe he's still watching this show.
But then that's what I'm saying. And then now they got the spinoff of it. And I'm saying
okay,
to those fans...
the first 2 seasons of the spinoff were decent. I mean, the third season, what made the spinoff unique is because it brought race into the equation, right? Because in the second one, when people started leaving LA, it started in LA, and people started migrating west, into Wyoming and, Arizona, places that had more land where there were not a lot of people. So people were venturing into those territories. But, the natives lives out there, and they're like, now that your government are gone, we're taking our land back. Like, fuck your laws. Your laws are gone, and you got this amount of days to be about, or we're coming in, and we're taking it back. And I was like...
Now that's a story. Like, see, that's a story. I didn't...
a whole little flippity flop on it, because good for
now
them.
I got to watch
good
it.
for them.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. Now I'm gonna watch that one.
It started in like the 3rd or 4th season, and that was what was it? I think that was there's The Walking Dead, and then I think there was like The Life of the Walking Dead, or
whatever.
Beyond Walking Dead.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
It started in. It was like show what happened, because you watched The Walking Dead, so that when it started, the world was over, and we didn't know what the fuck happened. We were just thrown
knew
into
their stories down in.
Yeah, we were just thrown into it. But this one starts like what was happening before
on the West Coast,
and it starts like what happened before, like what led up to the world collapsing, and so you got to hear what the news was saying and how people were reacting to it and not really knowing what was going on. It was just like coronavirus. I kid you not.
Was it corona?
It literally was just like that. Literally, because the news was like, oh, it's not a big deal. And then the next day, the news was like, okay, it's a big deal. Stay in the house. And I was like, you know what? That sounds kind of familiar. So people were just in their house, didn't know what was going on. And then people would just start to like be like, fuck it, I'm just going to go outside and I'm going to do a party anyway and see if people come over. And then next thing they know, they're running from some person on their lawn. Like, oh my gosh, like what the hell is going on? So yeah, it was a lot. It was deja vu during the coronavirus for sure.
Oh my gosh. What about,
I'm a huge zombie person. So yo, if you want good quality zombie shit, I will point you in the direction, because I do the zombie films. I love zombie movies. I love horror in general. Yeah, I love horror movies. I love horror shows in general. Which reminds me, I need to watch The Conjuring, the new one. It just came out. It's on HBO. I gotta watch that.
It is good.
Is it? I mean, I enjoyed all of the
once
the
again,
Conjuring
people are picky.
Saga. I enjoyed all of it. So
people are picky, you know.
Yeah.
Have you seen the show about family reunion?
Is this the Wayans Brothers show? No, the one with... I've seen a couple of those episodes. I haven't actually watched it. My mom watched it, though. My mom watches those shows. I really don't. I'm sorry.
Netflix is letting us be unapologetically black.
They are. I watched the one with Jamie Foxx and his daughter, and I really enjoyed that one.
Tell me it's not hilarious.
It's funny, which was refreshing, because I thought it was going to be cheesy. But it was not cheesy. It was funny. I enjoyed it.
Jamie Foxx is doing a good job of pretending to know what young people do.
Yes.
He's also doing a great job of pretending not to be an old dad.
And he looked good while doing it too. Yes, he does, baby.
I knew you. Look, I knew
Jamie.
you.
Man, been fine my whole life.
Look, and see, I don't know. Like, my thing is I've always been attracted to, like, I don't know. I see infinite possibilities in individuals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not attracted to the fact that you can make $1 billion, but I am attracted to the fact that you can be creative enough to come up with an idea to go, you know what? I'm going to invest in this because I know that this is going to happen and this is going to happen.
You're attracted to intellect.
I don't know if it's intellect, but it's like it's
or ingenuity.
It's like chess. Those individuals that can see moves ahead, like
that shit is impressive, man. Because my brain does not work that way.
Right?
My brain does not work that way. So that is super impressive. I'm an intellectual, so I love someone who can feed my mind, who can make me think critically, who can give me stimulating conversations. I love that. And I also love the way you treat me. I am very much so you get what you give. If you give me kindness and you give me sweet and grace, I'll give that back to you. If you give me mediocrity, I'll give you that too.
Look,
if you give me non-committal, I'll give you non-committal too.
I think people are afraid of knowing that there are sides to people. Like I tell people all the time, you get two versions of me. You get hot or cold. A majority of the time, I am cold. The person that you get to laugh and joke with and be all civil and everything with, that is the guy whose cold water is turned on.
Really?
When my hot water turned on, you don't want to be around that guy.
Oh,
like,
shoot.
That guy is just a complete and utter fucking asshole. No.
Oh.
That guy is the son of a bitch you want to kill.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Harsh words.
I know. That's the reason why I had to think about it. Like words are powerful.
Yeah, they are. They hold meaning. They're spells. This is why it matters what music you listen to.
You know, that is a very look. My grandmama used to say things like, boy, the dick is like a magic wand. You better watch the spell that you cast with it. You may have to undo it.
What? It's powerful. Yeah, that's true.
I didn't know what she was talking about. Then, as you grow, once again, you see so many things with so many people.
Have you seen Astronaut Club?
Astronaut Club?
I mean, Astrology Club.
Astrology Club, no.
It's on Netflix as well. It's a all-black sketch comedy show. It's hilarious.
Have you seen the show with Mike Epps and Wanda?
Yes.
What do you think about that one?
That show was funny too.
They are stupid.
It was funny.
The way that they go in on each other is like real life. Like I know a mother that does that to her son-in-law. Like, nigga, you do know that my daughter had options. Like, don't act like I don't know that my daughter settled for you. Like,
my mom was watching that. I was listening since I had to working from home. Let her have the TV be on the computer, listening to her watch it, and me cracking up over here at my computer at work. He was stupid in that show. Him and so those are the two that my mom watched, but she hasn't watched the other ones. I don't think Family Matters, and I know I haven't watched it because she hasn't.
What about we was talking about what you call it. Look, our time is almost up. This has been great.
Yeah.
We gonna finish our conversation offline.
Okay.
However, our 2 hours is up, y'all. Thank you for watching the show. Y'all seen everything from the ground up. You know what I mean? I appreciate all of y'all being with me, enjoying the show. Submit some questions and comments. You know what I mean? Let folks
Yes,
know.
because we didn't get to talk about mortgage nearly as much as I would like to. So
Yes.
please put some questions in the comments, and I'll be in the comments answering them. And you can come over to my page and ask me them personally, and I'll answer some more stuff for you guys.
And your boy is gonna be posting more content as a creator because I'm a creator. And that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So look forward to more content coming soon. As you can see on the bottom of your screen, you can see Miss Talisa Hawkins at Instagram, Queen Tia 26. Excuse me, I don't want to say it wrong. Yes, on the bottom of the screen. Once again, Black Conscious Convo, y'all. I'm your host, Chris Diggins. Conversation rules the nation. Action speaks louder than words. Holla at your boy.